Yep.
I already started recording, so we're
Okay,
still
right.
just pouring the water for a bit. Welcome to episode 48 of Tech of a Tea. I'm, as always, your host, Brady Robertson. And today we have someone who I don't know what else you do besides advocate for LBRY. Welcome to the show, Mantega. Mantega, how do you actually say
Thank
your
you.
name? Is it Mantega, Mantega?
Mantega, right. Yeah, it's good
Okay.
like this. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me, man.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I've seen you hanging out in the LBRYnomics Discord a bunch, and I thought you'd be a fun guest. I've caught a couple of your videos that have popped up on Odysee from time to time, and you seem like a fun person to talk to. So, hey, thought it'd be a good episode.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So, for the people who don't know who you are, why don't you tell people what you usually do on LBRY or Odysee as well? I guess because yeah.
Yeah, well, my name is Mantega, and I have a channel called at Mantega, and LBRY Rats and Odyssey as Ratonauts United. And well, I'm basically trying to create more community in LBRY and Odysee by doing funny videos. Sometimes I try to do tutorials. Sometimes I just do silly stuff. And yeah, the whole idea is that what I realized is there's few people doing comedy in this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I think comedy is a great way to create community. So I am like, yeah, I'm trying to to make more fun and to create more fun in LBRY and Odysee. That's the goal.
Yeah, I have noticed that there's a lot of the niches are starting to get a lot more people. Like Linux has a lot of people in it. Obviously, crypto is a lot. Gaming as well. But you're definitely right. There aren't that many comedy focused channels, are there?
Yeah, and that's the thing I saw. Like at one point, well, with the lockdown especially, like usually what I do for a living at circus shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I like
that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah. Since like I'm 14, 15, I work with Circus, and then and the main reason why I work with Circus is because I love to make people laugh. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I make people laugh in a day, when someone's laugh, my day is worth it. I go to bed and I feel good. And with everything that happened 2020, there was no way to make people laugh. Like all my gigs were canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna do internet humor. I'm gonna try to do something on the internet, and then I try to do things on YouTube and Facebook, and it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like I was having a good audience there. I was doing like I think the episode was called The Last Tourist because I used to live in a tourist island and it was full of tourists, and all of a sudden we had no tourists. So because it's an African island, most of the people, like didn't have anything to watch. Like there's not so much comedy related content to that audience. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make for these people here comedy that, there's one tourist that got stuck in the island and he can never leave the island because he's stuck here and he's the last tourist. And I had like planned the whole series. Until it ends. Like the final episode was supposed to be the tourists going back into the airplane and the new tourists arriving.
Yeah.
But that never happened. So I was like, oh crap, now it was supposed to be, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months. So I recorded a lot. And I think they are still in my channel. Like if you go to my very first videos on LBRY and Odysee, there's like the last tourist. And after that, I thought, okay, I'm gonna make something else. But that's the thing. Like, it didn't feel right to do things for Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. And then I thought, okay, I must have to find a corner. There must be a place on the internet where it's still nice or where it's still not crap. And man, I couldn't believe when I found the LBRY and Odysee. Like, I think I'm still in this disbelief state that I'm like, can a place be like this? Can like really this idea be so nice? Because man, it's really like it's I don't know. Either we are in a bubble, and we are drinking something that's making our brain not function really well, or I don't really understand why the rest of the world don't realize how cool LBRY and Odysee actually are. Like it's an amazing idea.
So how
how
long have you been on?
Yeah.
So I cut you off there. I was gonna say, how long have you actually been on LBRY and Odysee for? Because it feels like you've just been around the entire time I've been around, but you might have started a bit after I did.
Yeah, I think I did. I started only in July or August of last year.
Oh wow, okay, way later than I joined.
Yeah. I joined and then I started making videos, and it was also the place where I got answers back. Like I think I did try some other place, but I don't. No, I think for videos was LBRY and Odysee my first place. Well, LBRY back in the day.
Yeah.
And actually, people were watching, and that was amazing. I was like, wow, people are watching this. And then soon enough, like I think in my first or second week, I already thought, okay, if people are watching this, because I got a bit, like internet and making content for internet is a completely new world for me. I'm a very analogic person. So I was, researching before, and people were talking about paying Facebook ads and YouTube ads, and I don't know what kind of crap ads. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just get, $100, a little bit more. I'm going to put into buying LBC and see if it makes a change, if people see my content, because anyway, I just have to invest once and it's not gone. Like when you make an ad on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, you pay for that and then it's gone, your money. You use it, and with LBC you have it. And I was like, okay.
One of the bigger problems with Facebook, especially, I don't know about like Twitter and all that, but I'm pretty sure it's not like this on the other platforms. On Facebook, if you have like a Facebook page, they will actually limit how much your page can actually be sent out to people unless you actually pay them to boost up your content. In reality, it's just sending out to people who it's supposed to be sent out to anyway.
Yeah. No, it's like it's the whole thing. It just became a advertisement platform, and yeah, like I didn't see much future on that. And in LBRY and Odysee, it's so amazing, like that's why I say to new people that join the platform, buy as little as much as you can from LBC just as you start, because it's worth it. Because everybody else is just entering and just wants in a very greedy position. They just want to, not everybody, but a lot of people, they think, okay, I'm just gonna get and you have to give something as well. And it was one of the best things I could ever done, like it was really well spent. And also this feeling that you use in crypto, because not every crypto you use every hour of the day, The other day there was a guy posting on Twitter, I don't use Bitcoin, I just hodl. And I use every day. And I just replied, okay, but LBC I use every hour. Every hour. And even when you're sleeping, you're using LBC, so it's crazy.
It's not, as from what I've seen, it doesn't, at least, I can't really speak for a smaller channel, but at least on my channel, I've noticed that LBC don't really have as much of an impact anymore. It might just be because my channel is always in, like, the technology tab on Odysee, and in that case, you're basically competing against the other people in that tab.
Okay.
Like, when it was just LBRY, I noticed that if I put, 60,000 LBC on something, that would have an massive effect. But it seems like it not to say that LBC has less of an effect now. It seems like there are just more, I guess, people exploring the platform, just looking for content.
Yeah, like the feeling I have now with Odysee, like I don't even know in which tab I am, if I am in any tab. But the impression that I have is this, that LBC doesn't make so much sense now in Odysee because it's kind of curated, I think is the word. That they select a bit who is going to be in the first page, and it makes sense why they are doing this. And but yeah, only now, man, like since 1 week, I start to really boost my content with LBC again, because I also got very lucky that my first 100 subscribers, they were really great people, like really great people, and they could boost my content. So I think I got used to people boosting my content, and I was like, okay, if I put a video on and it's good, somebody's gonna boost it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do it for myself, because then I just believe that, you know, my better and not so good content is gonna be sorted out through the community. Whatever is good, it's gonna be boosted, and whatever is not gonna be boosted, and then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's only since a week that I start to boost my content. Getting late on the train, because now it doesn't make so much sense to do it, but I'm doing it because I thought anyway, like there are so many weird, let's put the words, content being boosted, that I'm like, better if I can boost a little bit mine as well. And oh no, I lost you here. Have you back?
The platform's definitely cleaned up quite a bit though since back when I joined. Because back when I joined, the front page was just nothing but garbage. Like, you look at it now, it not even just on Odysee where it is more curated, even over on LBRY, there's actual like good content just on the homepage.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, well, I don't know when did you join the platform?
I joined, I think, December 2019. Yeah, December 2019.
Okay.
So not too long before you joined.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like
back then, I think to get into the top 100 channels, you needed to have like over 120 subscribers or something like that.
Yeah.
So I basically got into the top 100 straight away. But do you know like how many you need now to be in the top 100? Because the number is crazy.
Well, after a president joined, I think we got even.
Yeah, it's definitely been going up since then.
No, more than 10,000, I guess.
It's 12,000 now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you know. I also, when I entered the platform, I joined some Discord groups where they were talking about the ranking and so on, and I didn't pay much attention to that then, and I don't pay too much attention to that now.
That's fair.
What I realized that is good is to just, you know, think about the long term. And the long term, you know, like it's 10 years, it's 15 years, it's whatever, you know. And that also, it's a very good feeling to have, you know, that how many people put 20 years? 20 years? Now, 20 years, maybe it's too much, but well, maybe 20 years now. 20 years is too much, but 15 years, 10 years of their life in YouTube. You know?
The YouTube started in 2006, so there are some channels who are still going for 15 years. Yeah,
or like even if it's 5 years, or even just 1 year of your life, you know, that you really put on and you focus on YouTube, and then they just go there and click, and then you're gone.
Yep.
And then you're gone, and you know, this is like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense that people trust so much third-party platform for that, you know. So like I cannot see, like I only see a future where LBRY and Odysee will be the place to go, like or something that evolves out of this idea. Because man, how else can you be safe of your content, you know? Like,
I don't know if in the future LBRY or Odysee is going to be like the platform everyone uses, but I have been advocating that people use alt platforms from the start. Like, I don't understand how there are people with multiple millions of subscribers who just trust their entire business just on YouTube existing. Obviously, YouTube is the biggest platform. You have to be on YouTube if you want a channel that big, but you don't just have to be on YouTube. There's no reason it has to be like that.
Yeah. And that is also what is really amazing. It's like how hard it is for YouTubers to realize that, you know, because they spend so much time and they create a community, and they became a bit narrow-minded, you know. And it also pissed me off a little bit when I joined LBRY at the beginning, and because it seems like everybody was waiting until the YouTubers come. They come. Oh, next week the YouTubers will come. Next week, and then I'm thinking like, why the hell are we waiting until the YouTubers come? Why don't we just start ourselves, you know, to move on? Because they put a lot of their time, and it's the way they know how to do their life, and it's the way that worked for them for so long, or it's the way that they are kind of brainwashed to work, you know. So we can work, like we can wait another maybe 5 years until the YouTubers actually join, you know, people join sometimes when they are banned. And even when they are banned, you know, like, why don't before they get banned, they start to do this, that, you know, they cut their videos just the 5 minutes and tell people go to LBRY and Odysee, where it's, you know, like, you know, what I'm focused now is like not so much what is not going well, but actually what we can do on it. And there's so much potential. I'm so happy that, wow, every day, you know, like I wake up with like 5-6 different ideas for LBRY and Odysee content, because there are so many things, like, and I have to learn so much. And every time I put a video, then somebody comments on it, and I realize, okay, I have to grow. I have to, because you grow with a platform.
Yeah.
You're growing with a platform, and that is such a privilege to have, you know. And even if it sinks, we will be sinking with the platform, and at least we are part of it, you know. YouTube, I think people are not even sinking. They are just being completely like atomic bombed, you know, like one day you exist, the next day you're gone, my friend. And there's no costume service that you can call, and there's nothing you can, you know, and all the crypto YouTubers on Twitter begging to YouTube to have their channel back. Oh man, that's so ridiculous. I mean, come on, like you spend hours of, like, you have hundreds of videos telling, oh yeah, use crypto, be decentralized.
I can understand like the politics guys and stuff being confused about it, but you are in the crypto sphere. How do you not know about this yet? Even if you,
exactly.
Or some people are like, I just don't want to use it because shitcoin, all of that nonsense. So just don't even think about the crypto part then. Just ignore that. I don't understand why you're not here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I made recently a video talking about the bullish case for LBC and so on, and I talk like, I don't know what you think about him, but for me, it's like one of the biggest crypto guys. It's Andrea Antonopoulos, this Greek guy, and he's like, I think he's amazing what he does, you know, and so much knowledge. And yes, he will never say something about LBRY or LBC, because of course he's the big Bitcoin guy, and he's not gonna do endorsement for any kind of project, you know. But then just the fact that he's here with his video synchronized here, that he trusts LBRY and Odysee enough to have his content and to have his brand here, it says a lot. It says a lot more than if he would go out and talk good about it. It's what he's doing, it's not what he's saying. So yeah, but yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. I think there will be a point where we'll be laughing so much because all of them will have to be joining, because, you know, it's what it looks like, and then you're like, okay, why you took so long, you know? Yeah.
I can hear your Discord going, by the way. I just heard a Discord notification.
Yeah, I think I have my Discord notifications on. Yeah. You have to
just
tell
I want to warn you, because I know I have some audio listeners and they're going to start thinking that they're getting Discord messages.
I think now I turn it off. Sorry, I don't do many interviews.
That's all good. What I was going to say about people joining the platform, I have noticed that more people are starting to like join, I guess, early now. Like recently, one of the big people who joined was Electroboom. And he's got, I think, 4 million subscribers over on YouTube. And when we start seeing people like that join, I think that's when, like, as more people like that join, more people who have existing channels are going to start feeling more comfortable actually joining the platform, because they're going to see, hey, someone with that many subscribers is here. Clearly there's an audience for them. That's sort of one of the hardest problems about getting people to actually come to a platform. Trying to convince them that there's actually an audience. You're obviously going to have the people who are hardcore dedicated to the platform, will only upload on the platform, or the people who just want to be like the early adopters, but for whatever reason, there's just a lot of people who don't want to use a platform until it has a user base, even though you don't necessarily have to only be on the platform. Like, I still upload on YouTube, and most of the YouTubers on the platform still use YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think with Electroboom, he actually is taking advantage of the fact that he's going to be on Odysee. He's going to re-upload a couple of old videos that got deleted. Because he did. There was one video he did where he shocked himself so bad that he could have killed himself, and YouTube was like, "No, we're going to delete that one." And actually, I say one. There's a couple of times he's done that, and he's going to re-upload those videos that got deleted.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, who the hell gave the right to YouTube to dictate what this guy is going to show or not? You know, if his audience wants to see him getting electrocuted, maybe you can have like the age censorship or whatever, like not censor, but what's the name, like the age restriction for the content.
They do have that. That's the worst part about it. They just
it's like so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be the answer. What I feel like is that LBRY and Odysee has a bright future. Has a bright present already. Like right now, the way it is, I find it really nice because we have a lot less trolls. We have a lot less. I don't know how it's in your channel, but at least in my channel, like, and I think in your channel is the same. Like, people are so nice. Like, I'm really surprised of how nice this community is. Like,
I have seen a couple of spam accounts recently. There's someone who's running a couple of bot accounts who keeps being like, "I made so and so amount of money with Bitcoin in this amount of time. Click here to join the scam."
I guess if you have the word crypto, or if you say too many crypto things or Bitcoin on your channel, then you have like this risk. But I mean, those are things like that we have to deal with, and it's okay. But I mean, actual people being like really annoying and really being really toxic, that is a rare thing.
For the most part, people seem to be pretty chill on Odysee for sure. And it is nice to see that people are actually commenting now. Like, now that there actually are notifications, people actually interact on the platform, because you can actually see when someone's replied to you. Which, when I first joined the platform, it wasn't just that no one commented because no one was using the platform. Even when people did comment, I didn't know that someone had, so someone was less likely to, because most people typically will comment because they're trying to get like the creator's attention. And I would have no way of knowing that someone's actually commented on my videos. I got like just in the moment of this kind of transition, like at the beginning, I only had like 20 or videos or something. So I was like going not every day, but every 2 days going through every video and checking if there was a comment on it. That's what I'm saying. Like, we are growing with the platform, So the same thing with the likes and the Hadoukens, the fire that there was known before. So now it's weird, for example, that I can go to your page and look at an excellent interview that you did a few months ago, and there's no fire there. Nobody put a fire in it, of course, because it was a few months ago. And these things is just, was me or you? No, I've got my Discord closed.
Huh? Yours? Okay, I can close mine. Oh man, you're a genius. Okay, just close.
Okay, well, you did forget to unmute your speakers before.
Yeah, exactly. You see, like, with technology, I'm glad I'm like, technology. It's not my thing, really. Well, now it is. I have to stop saying that because now I have to grow with it, and LBRY and Odysee, it's for sure a good motivation for that.
Like, the platform's still very, like, one of the good things about LBRY and the state it's in right now, there's a lot of people on the platform, but it's still quite small, where it's still, like, if you go, say, make a gaming channel on YouTube, for example, there is millions of gaming channels. If you want to be a gaming channel on Odysee, though, there's not really that many. There's a couple of them. A lot of them just aren't very good, though. And if you want to stand out on Odysee, right now it's actually really, really easy to do so.
Yeah, definitely. Like, in any kind of content creation, I guess, like basically, like, it's funny that yesterday I got a comment, or this night, someone writing me this. It was like, oh, maybe it's hard now to do something because, and I was like, come on, man, like, anything on Odysee and LBRY now can have a huge potential, because people are like really looking forward to seeing content here, and especially content that is made for this platform and for the people here, because we are such a small community. I think like we are a bit more than 500,000 people That's very small. That's
judging by how many subscribe to the official library channel. It's 500,000 right now, or 507,000.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the population of the country where I used to live, Cape Verde, and it's probably the smallest country in Africa, So when you think about that, and then you think about the fact that every day, I don't know how many, but maybe it's thousands of channels are being censored in YouTube, like if you think, and then you do the math, and then you're like, okay, it's normal that at the beginning we are going to have maybe a lot of people doing with politics, maybe a few people doing with crypto, but soon enough, many people will understand that freedom of speech is something that is really necessary in this world, and it's not supposed to be a privilege. And like to have just 5% of the world's population in LBRY and Odysee, that would be, I don't know how many millions, but that would be like at least a 10-fold or a 20-fold from where we are right now, and that's like that's very bullish.
Well, I've been saying this from the start, but the way the platform's going to grow is kind of like an onion, okay? So like when you peel an onion, right? Obviously the onion has layers. We're going to do Shrek references here. But the first people who joined the platform were the crypto guys, because obviously crypto guys are going to look at the new crypto platform. Then from there, you sort of got the politics people, the guys who were getting kicked out of YouTube. Then from that, you had like more general tech stuff. So people like me who Linux content. And from there, you start expanding out into these like other areas. You start getting like the gaming channels and the commentary channels, and eventually you're gonna have like you're gonna have like the makeup channels and the toy channels. And as these layers keep expanding, because it's not like someone who watches like a gaming channel only watches gaming content. They're going to watch this other sort of content as well. So as these other people join, it sort of affects all of these other groups as well. But if it was just crypto people on the platform, you're not really going to be able to convince like a makeup channel to join. But it's getting to the point where as those groups are starting to actually come to the platform, there's more and more of a reason for them to actually come check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And be exposed to crypto as well. Because whenever a makeup channel comes to LBRY, then they are exposed to crypto directly, and then it has a huge potential also for tutorials. Many people do crypto tutorials, and I thought about it, and then I got lazy. But
I know maybe somebody. Actually, to be fair, I already run 3 channels, so I can go a little lazy, but I work like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end, it's hard to create content. Like it's not hard, it's pleasurable to do it, but to do a new channel, it's a whole bunch of new effort on it. But one huge potential is like, okay, I want to teach people how to use crypto. Join LBRY and Odysee, because then you're gonna have crypto from day one, and with that crypto that didn't cost you anything, we are going to play around. You send me a fraction of a LBC, because even LBC you can send fractions of it, not everyone is using. And thanks God, because I sending fractions of a LBC, it's but anyway, you have already the person exposed to the asset, and you can already teach how to use it without the person having to have any cost, because usually like the few people I got into crypto, it was always like, okay, I send you $5 of crypto, so you already. I think it's very important to have already exposure to it. To have the asset already with you, that you say, okay, I have it, and now what do I do with it? But yeah, I definitely see this, that many people from all over, and actually, like I heard already 2 or 3 times from Circus friends or friends that are not in the internet talking about Odysee. That is bullish. That's incredible.
That's pretty crazy. I haven't. It's surprising that I haven't heard
about Odysee, and I was like, yes, I think I heard about Odysee, because I haven't still, like I also had this thing when I started doing content that I have quite a following because of my Circus work. I have already a following, but I thought I want to start to see if I can really have people that, to measure that I'm doing something good, it has to be people that don't care about me.
Yeah.
So if I tell all my Circus followers, oh yeah, I have this channel here, they might come and they might be nice to me because they already know me from my Circus work. So I haven't, how you say, mixed those two worlds.
Yeah.
But I think they will come together to a point, and I'm looking forward to that day, where everybody's gonna be, oh, have you heard about that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm already there since a while. You can just check my channel. And that it's also this effect that when somebody join already a platform and trusted so much making videos, when they join, they will be feeling assured that they're like, oh, okay, Mantega has been here for like half a year and has a lot of videos, and they will go through my videos and they will see the comments. They will see that people are really nice, and that makes a nice effect.
I've talked about this story on the podcast before, but when I moved back to the state I'm in now, when I was, I think, what would have been like, what year is it now? 2021? So 15 years ago, back in like 2006. When I was like getting my computer set up, first time getting something better than dial-up, it was great. My cousin was telling me about this new website that had just come out called YouTube. It was a couple of months old at this point. There was nothing on it, but I remember this story. For the past 15 years, I remember this story, and that's sort of where I want to get to with Odysee, where I can just be like, hey, have you heard about this new website that's been around for a little bit? There's actually surprisingly content here. Because that's one of the other differences between when YouTube started. No one really knew how to make videos on the internet. But now that we've had YouTube for so long, we're sort of going to see this. I think it's not just happening with LBRY. I think it's happening with all of the alt tech platforms as well. We're seeing this content revolution where people who really weren't able to get a foot in because YouTube's just so saturated in every single sphere are going to be able to make these really good videos and actually have people looking at what they're doing because there's just not as much to see. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of years, but I'm very hopeful for like new talents that weren't ever able to get their foot in. Like there are people on YouTube who've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years who have like a couple hundred subscribers, and you look at their videos and you're like, why do you have so few subscribers? Like, how does this is better than what I'm making. Why are people watching me?
Yeah, I completely get it, what you're saying. And like since a while, since I got the new camera, I was actually using my crappy phone camera, to do all my videos. Not honestly, even the back camera.
The phone camera's fine.
Like the selfie camera of my phone, I was using to do every video to make a point also. Also I didn't have the money to buy a camera, but also to make a point that, LBRY and Odysee now, it's so much at the beginning that even with the front camera of your cell phone, you can do a video. And if you're doing from your heart, if you really believe what you're doing and blah, 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 it's gonna pick up, a bit of time. And not that I have the biggest channel, LBRY or Odysee, but what I think I was able to create is a good community around my channel. And that was my whole point, and then it's the same if you have 200 people or if you have 2,000, because a good community is a good community. And what it creates is that, you wake up and you feel like doing a video. And I think I completely get your point. Many people are wasting their time and their energy on YouTube at this point, and they will either change or they will not, but what can we do?
One of the biggest reasons I stay on YouTube at this point is because I don't know what platform will be the one that ends up replacing it. Like, BitChute is massive. I don't think it will just because of how much baggage it has, but it does already have a very large user base. So I feel like if I wasn't on there and it did take off, I would really be doing myself a disservice. That's why I'm sort of like spreading myself out on all of these platforms. Like, I'm going to be wherever the next big platform is. I don't care if it's BitChute. I don't care if it's Odysee. I don't care if it's, I don't know, some maybe daily, let's just say Daily Motion takes off. I don't care where it is. I'm going to be there because I've missed so many platforms that have exploded. I wasn't there when I wasn't even making content when Vine took off. I didn't think TikTok was going to take off. Look at what that's become now. I've missed out on all of these opportunities. I'm not going to miss out on the one for video creation.
Yeah, I understand your point of view, but you know, in my case, for example, I'm glad I missed out on TikTok. Seriously, not seriously, because.
But you could use it to direct people to Odysee.
Huh?
You could have used it to direct people to Odysee.
Yeah, in this sense, yes. But that's the thing. Like, I think these people will get directed here anyway because of the world politics and everything that's playing out in the bigger scheme, you know. And yeah, what I like a lot about LBRY and Odysee is that it's so chilled. It's so chilled. You know, TikTok, you have to be doing something crazy and blah, every 15 seconds. And just watching somebody watching TikTok. I never watched TikTok in my life. I just watched one person watching TikTok. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And then some friends of mine, they actually got into TikTok, some circus performers, you know, and they have like, I don't know, 15,000 followers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I really like actually the fact that LBRY and Odysee are so slowly growing because I believe in the slow growth. You know, things that go parabolic, they usually crash parabolic as well.
Have you looked at the graph for the library growth right now? It's getting a little parabolic.
Yeah, I know, but it's still people holding LBCs out that everybody's buying a Lambo, you know?
Yeah.
and it is the moment, and it's not that it came from yesterday. It's since 2016, I think, this thing is growing, you know? Yeah. So I think, and on these, I feel like very comfortable, you know, to say that I think I got in this platform when it was already very user-friendly, you know, and I really respect all the guys that were before because, man, it was such a hard time to be before in a platform where there was almost nothing created on it. And,
and people I've spoken to like
developing.
I've spoken to like Electron and Brendan, and they've been here basically since the start. Before there was even like a graphical interface to find videos, you would have to just write stuff in the terminal and you would find it, which is not a good way to find content at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what I think it's one of the most bullish things besides the decentralization and everything, is that the people that are holding behind this platform, they're tough, man. They're tough, you know, like they could have given up already. Like they had so many reasons to give up this already for so many years, you know, and they are. So that's the point why I'm doing like mostly Odysee and LBRY exclusive content, because I wake up every day and I upload here. I know that it's going to be staying there as long as the blockchain of this platform exists. It's going to stay there. And I'm going to, you know, funnel my energy towards LBRY and Odysee. And of course, I understand you as a content creator that you also want to, I completely get your point, you know, let's try to see. But for me right now, like in my other career that I had with Circus, it was the same thing, you know. When you tell people, okay, I'm going to be a circus artist, hardly anyone is going to say, oh my God, that's a great idea, my friend, you know. But it made me really happy that I did that. You know, like I traveled the world. I really had the life of a millionaire without all the responsibility in a way. Like I was traveling the world. I had a lot of free time. I was doing what I liked. I had, a lot of people clapping for me every time I was doing a show and blah, blah, blah. And I also felt that because you can be a circus artist in a circus, or you can be in a theater, or you can be in hotels, or you can be on the street. And I did all of those. But the one that I was mostly focused was on the street, because on the street, everybody is there. There's millionaires, there's beggars there's people with money, without money. And you take people by surprise because they don't expect you to be there. And you make a change on, like so many people say, oh man, I was having such a hard day. And then I saw your performance, and then that completely changed the mood of my day. And it might seem ridiculous to even think that that is important, but I think that makes a difference when we are able to shift our energy from a bad day to a good day, and when we are able to shift many people's energy on that. And I think I'm starting to have this, like, today I had a comment a bit like this, oh, man, I was, I'm not so positive, but every time I see your videos, it brings a smile to my face. And then I'm, okay, I want to bring this, but not only this, but also in the right place, in the place where I believe it's the right one, because Circus, hotels, like for example, Cirque du Soleil. When you're a circus artist, everybody talks about Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil is crap, man. It's like the McDonald's for circus, What they do is beautiful and blah, 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 but they're truly the McDonald's of circus, Saying that Cirque du Soleil is the best circus in the world is the same thing as saying that McDonald's is the best restaurant in the world. Why? Because they are the most successful financially. And since when this is like the measurement, not being completely anti-capitalism, but that's not the only measurement in this world to measure value, So the same thing with LBRY and Odysee. Metrics for me don't count so much in the sense that my content's going to be there maybe for decades without anyone being able to delete. And that I think no other platform can offer me right now. And so I stick with the entry, what it looks to be the most entry fragile of all of them, because I also believe that circus shows were very anti-fragile. And it's true. I can go to some places in the world now and still work really well as a circus artist. But I never expect that, I don't know how old is this profession, maybe 10,000, 15,000 years old, a circus artist, and we were always able to work, and now it's one of the hardest times for us. But it's gonna pick up, and I think I expect the same to happen with LBRY and Odysee, that it might not be so fast growing as other platforms, but it's gonna be more resilient in the long term.
At least in the idea of what like a modern circus is, 1770 is the number that Google is giving me. But people entertaining other people obviously has been around for thousands of years before that.
Yeah, it's shamanic. It's from what I understand of what we do, like with circus and performing artists, like we are like shamans. We do, like, if I take the ball here and I put on top of my head, it looks impossible. And you think, oh my God, it's either a trick or it's a glue, or, because why does it look impossible? Because nobody would waste their time in their life to acquire this skill that takes to just, have a freaking ball on top of your head, It's just too much time being wasted, And so, yeah, I think what we do as content creators now, it's also a bit of shamanic work in a way. It's just a little bit more with technology. You're like a technologic shaman.
I think that's the title of this podcast.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't.
Shamanism.
Featuring Mantega, the technologic shaman. Oh, okay. All right then.
You got that.
I don't know what to say. So you've been talking a bit about that crypto throughout this. Were you actually at all interested in crypto before you found LBRY, or was LBRY what actually sparked that interest?
Well, in 2019 or 18, 2019, 2018. Wow, it's so good that I forgot the date. Actually, I had a surgery, and then I was, I couldn't do my work, and I couldn't work with what I had, and I had to just stay resting. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, Brazil got a new president during that time. So I think it was 2018. And then I was like, okay, I have to, there's no point of me on focusing on what I cannot do, what I can do. Mm-hmm. And then when there was a new president coming to Brazil, I was very afraid that it happened something that happened already in the history. That is that the president just comes and takes away all the money from all the bank accounts from everyone. Mm-hmm. That happened already in Brazil once in the 90s, that they just take the money from everyone from the savings accounts. And that happened twice to Argentina recently. And it's something that people that they live sometimes in First Nation countries, they cannot believe that something like this is possible. But hey, guys, I will tell you, tomorrow, if they want to do this with your money in your bank account, they can do it. Mm-hmm. So that sparked my interest in crypto a bit, that I had heard a bit about it. I had a little bit of exposure to it. But then that was the moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to be very dumb if I don't do that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was 2018, of course, because it was the bottom of the bear market. Mm-hmm. Or like very close, was like around 4,000, the Bitcoin. And then I just took all the money I had in Brazil and I convert to crypto to be able to take away from the hand of the government. And then you guys know how it went afterwards. Mm-hmm. It was like, woo! And yeah, so I learned in that moment, and it was a very good learning curve because I got into in a good moment, but my interest mostly with it was like to really escape a kind of mentality that I wasn't supporting that government. I don't support any government in the world actually, but especially that one was looking really bad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this also comes now afterwards, after reading a bit. I find it so nice that, before we used to have religion and politics together. And that is an absurd to think nowadays. And the same way, I think now money and politics, they are together. Mm-hmm. And that's also absurd to have. So inside of barking? This... Yeah, there's a dog, ne?
Okay, you can.
Oh my God, we cannot have Discord messages coming through my podcast.
Yeah, no, it's a dog. Let's see, if I knock on the window, is she going to stop?
Nah, come on. Everybody watching, they are fine with it.
Okay, I think...
it's good to see that we are in the real world, What do they expect? We are going to a bunker every time you have to do a podcast or what?
There's a little chihuahua next door, and my pit bull isn't really a fan of it, so...
That was a very loud bark for a chihuahua.
No, that's the pit bull that was barking.
Oh, okay. And when did you get into crypto and stuff? Because I have no idea. That got me curious.
That's a good question. I'd say probably I'm not as deep into it as you sound like you are, but I would say probably 6 or so months before I joined LBRY.
Ah, okay.
That was when I started buying a bit. I haven't really bought that much, but I don't know. I'm starting to get onto the Bitcoin train. I think, I don't know, people keep saying it's going to go to 100,000. I don't know. Maybe it will. But
yeah, well, read the Bitcoin Standard. That was the book that really helped me to change my mind, to see how serious it actually is. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the things. Like in 2016, a friend of mine told me about crypto. Mm-hmm. And he was actually mining, had a lot of machines. He was like hitting his house with the machines. 2016. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I heard. And I was inside of a house of a guy that was mining it. And then what? Nothing, man. Like he never took the time to explain me what the hell was that. Mm-hmm. It was just, I could see that it was taking a lot of time of his life, and this I understand. And he was always coming, I made 50 cents more. And I was like, what the hell? And and he never took the time to really explain me what it is, because if you would have told, come on, Mantega, buy $500 of it, I would have done it, and would have been a very good deal to do it, mm-hmm. to buy 500. It would be a Bitcoin, a whole Bitcoin maybe in 2016, even more.
Yeah, okay.
So this is one thing that I keep with myself, Anyone that asks me about crypto, I make sure to try to expose them to $5 or to mm-hmm. whatever, so they already have the access to the asset. They can see it moving. and they already feel empowered, because I think it's gonna pick up a lot. Like when when I read the Bitcoin Standard, that book really changed my perception on it, because it talks about the whole evolution of money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing like with the religions thing that I said before. That I think it's not in the book, but I read somewhere else. The Luther religion from Martin Luther,
Mm-hmm.
Lutheranism. That religion, for example, had an idea that could have been done by other religions before Lutheranism came. Why it didn't happen before? Because there was not the technology to support the idea. What happened with Martin Luther is that was the same time that he had that idea, there was the printing press. So he could print his idea, mm-hmm. and to spread that idea. And the same thing I think now happened with crypto, that everybody knows that governments are crap with money and that they are doing really horrible things with it, and that the central banks, everybody knows everything that is going dirty with money, all the money laundering, blah, 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 blah. But there was not the technology to fight against it. Mm-hmm. And now we have technology to fight against it. And that's why, and there it comes the value from Bitcoin and crypto. Well, Bitcoin mostly, not all of the cryptocurrencies. I think Bitcoin is
No, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies which are basically just, hey, here's Bitcoin with a different name.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like Bitcoin is for sure the most important one, because it's also the one with the biggest network of people. And that's where LBC comes to be my second guess, because LBC has a network of people surrounding it, which now is very little. It's just 500,000. But it's so nice. Mm-hmm. Man, people at the beginning of the Bitcoin, they couldn't do what we are doing, Like people are watching this video now through blockchain technology, or like on the base of it. And that people from Bitcoin, they couldn't prove that point so easily, like you can prove with LBC. And now to help all the governments in the world, they are really like saying, go for, and YouTube and the big tech, they are our bigger sponsor. I actually want to take this time to thank all the governments in the world and YouTube and all the censorship. You guys are doing a great job for LBRY and Odysee, because they are being our biggest allies in a way, because the crappy way that they work with all those policies, it's just, anyone with a brain will just join here, I managed to get some team. My hand got too excited about it.
Well, with LBRY, when I joined the platform, I think LBC was probably around like 1 or 2 cents. Have you seen the price now?
I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking. I heard about I don't know, 16 cents or something like this, and I'm like,
this is the Australian
now is the moment to chill. Like now is the moment to be like the beginning of Bitcoin, that the best people were the ones that forgot that they even had Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who constantly talk about the price, but I do like to, check in from time to time just to see what it's actually like, and why can't I find American dollar on here? What is going on?
I think I have it's 10.8. I have in the browser. Mm-hmm. Vlad made
yes,
a browser thing. So it's on my browser. It's over 10 cents now. Mm-hmm. That's true. I could see every day on my life. Oh, now I discover again that I have in the browser. I'm going to start. but yeah, wow, 10 cents. Yeah, that's crazy. That's how much fold? Like at least a 3-fold, no?
But it seems to have been like going massively up with the massive spike we're getting in users. What happens when we hit like 2 million users, 3 million users? Are we going to hit like $1? Is that... Because the coin's been at $1 before. It's not unreasonable for it to be there. And that's sort of... I imagine this is what it was like in like the early days of Bitcoin. Where it was like, this coin is worth literally dirt. There is no reason for me to have this. I'm just doing this because I can. Because it's easy to get yourself like, say... 20,000 LBC right now. That's not really that expensive. What's 20,000 Bitcoin?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's the thing. Yeah, I completely
And I don't
agree.
think LBC is going to hit like $40,000 anytime soon. But what I'm saying is that it's going to keep going up as people keep joining the platform. It's going to hit
Yeah,
$1. It's going to hit more than that. And as I'm not saying that you should dump all your money into it, don't ban this video, YouTube. But there are free ways that you can get it. And one of those free ways is just to use the platform.
I even forgot that we will be in YouTube with this video.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's the thing. I believe there is a long and that's the thing. If you look at the graphic of LBC, okay, you can look at the short term and you're gonna look wow bullish. But if you look at the long term, when you look like the big spike that has, I think, went up to even $2 or something,
Something
or
crazy like that.
And then what you see, it's like every other shit coin in the market, that goes parabolic, boom, and then gets that. And of course, that is not a good sign for LBC, because it just looks like every other coin in the market. But the difference is the community, and that's why I'm also trying to work on my end in community building, because I think Odysee and LBRY, we have a community. And we can see our faces as well, and we have a way to express ourselves that no other community in the crypto space has. And that makes such a difference. And there's a value on that, which hasn't been priced in yet. Because that's the thing, like Andreas Antonopoulos, again, he's the guy saying, don't buy any other coin, because everything that's being done now with these with this shitcoin is going to be done with a Bitcoin, like any of these privacy coins, any of these things, eventually it's going to be in the second layer, third layer of Bitcoin, and it's going to have the same functionality. And I know that Bitcoin, for example, you can write sentence on the blockchain using Bitcoin, but as I think the way that LBC works and the way it's projected to be is very different from the idea of Bitcoin, and there is a lot of value on that, because it's supposed to make very little transactions for the videos to be on the blockchain and blah, blah, blah. And again, I say again, like, if LBC wouldn't do things that are very different from Bitcoin, Andrew Antonopoulos would be the first one saying, he would say, why everybody's joining LBC and LBRY and Odysee, there will be video on top. And maybe there will be, because we are in the beginning of the internet with crypto, when the internet was on the 90s, nobody saw WhatsApp, nobody saw live streaming, nobody saw things like this, Netflix, or let's start to stop using company names. Give me some good examples. All the streaming that, well, now we are in .gg, or I hope that's open source. But anyway, nobody saw the fully potential, and that's true with Bitcoin. But for sure, what LBC done already is like, it creates so much value for this coin and for this project that it is amazing to watch something like that. It's and for that you need time, and that's why we look like every other shitcoin, because you need time to do that, and we are on it since a few months, and we see the development. It's not that everybody is just just sitting down and relaxing. You see every week, you see a development in LBRY and Odysee. They try things new, they exchange, which is one thing that I have to say about Odysee that I don't like so much, is that they completely cut any kind of feedback with the community. This I feel really like, while LBRY and they are always asking, so what do you guys? We are here, we are together. Odysee, they took for themselves the responsibility of doing this, and they completely shut down the community, like the communication, and that I don't feel nice. I don't know how far they will be able to grow with that. So if you're watching Odysee.com, watch also in LBRY.tv.
I will clip this section, I'll send it to Tom.
Yeah, because it is important, because that's the difference, like, for example, you enter now Odysee, and there's this thing, relax with still big tech.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know.
Nobody knows. And like I made a video about it, I sent to Tom it, and I think they just don't want to listen to the community. There's no feedback, there's no bouncing feedback. Like every content creator that was used to the communication with library before, it is a huge privilege. I don't take for granted, to have a place that they listen to the content creators. It's a huge privilege. And that was also one of the reasons why I really enjoy, joining this platform. And with Odysee, I felt that there was a cut. And I understand the reason for that cut, because they want to curate content that, it's going to get the average user. But still, if you're going to do such a harsh cut, there will be some things that are not so nice about it. And this sentence, to relax, we are also big tech, is one huge example of it. Anyone entering that thing, it's the first sentence that they said. And I don't know for who is funny that joke, but I used to work, and I still work with jokes every day of my life. And to start your platform having a really bad joke just at the first thing you see in a platform, it is horrible, man. It's and that if they don't take any feedback from the community, how are they going to grow?
With a lot of the stuff that Odysee has been doing, Julian has been doing a really good job. I really hope that this, like, that joke at the start wasn't his idea, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the reason people are joining LBRY isn't because LBRY is gonna be the new big tech. It's because, like, the term big tech is going to make you seem like a way worse platform. Plus, do you know... Okay, Odysee was probably the worst name they could have ever picked. Do you know... have you seen people saying things like, Odysee is owned by Google? Have you seen anyone saying that? Because there's a very good reason why they're saying that.
I heard the back conversation saying already that wasn't owned by Google. And I think they...
Do you know why?
But about it. Tell me why.
Okay, so Odysee, in I think 2016, was a completely different platform. So there is 2015. There is this article here. I'll send you the article actually. The chat window here. So there was a video, an image sharing platform called Odysee. And this platform shut down, like Google likes to shut things down. They always do that. After it shut down, LBRY, started doing their thing, and then eventually decided to buy the domain. So now, the second result when you look up Odysee on Google is Google acquires Odysee. I don't know why they did this name. It's such a bad idea for a name. They could have picked anything else. But then also relax with big tech just sort of keeps those rumors going even more. It's like, is it really owned by Google? No, they're not owned by Google. They're just dumb and decided to pick the stupidest name they could find.
Oh, man. Yeah. But that's the thing. Intelligence, it's something that, it's very hard for one person to be intelligent alone, And when you have a community,
important.
Yeah, of course, it is important for you. But, and that's another huge thing about Odysee and LBRY. I've never been exposed to so many good brains all at the same time. Like I'm mind blown, by the amount of intelligent people that join this platform. And why does do that good to the platform? Because there's feedback. And of course, what you're saying, it's completely true. Why did they pick up their name? They never asked anyone. Like, come on, guys, if we are, all of this on this together, we are using our most precious resort in this platform. We are using our time, you're spending your time on this platform. I'm spending my time on this platform. We are trying to get even more people to put their time in this platform. And time is now the most precious resource that we have as human beings. And if they don't take this time to listen to all these people that are putting their time there as well, not saying that we will have all the answers, but at least listen to it, And this feedback, this like cut feedback, it's gonna stop soon, and they will realize that, wow, actually we have so many advisors for free, that we can use, or we will see that more stupid stuff is gonna come through and it's gonna be even dumber. And what can we do about it?
I can't speak for other channels, but I know that for me, I still do, like, if I do anything on Twitter or Mastodon, it still is pretty easy for me to get in contact with people like Tom and Jeremy. But it's nowhere near as much as it was before. Like, if you're a big creator on the platform, it still is pretty easy, but as you start, like, it's not like it was before where, you know, some random person would suggest an idea and then you'd be like, oh, that might be something that works. I definitely do see the cut feedback you were saying. But we can move on to something kind of positive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, your microphone appears to be noisy. It sounds like your microphone is making noise. Please consider muting it or changing the device. Go away, Jitsi.
Oh my god, I'm so good at it.
No, that's my microphone that was doing that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm recording my microphone directly, so it's not a problem, I guess. If it sounds fine to you, I don't know. Anyway, Dev, have you seen this tweet here? Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know where's the chat and now I found it.
Yes, left-hand side.
Yeah, no. First time using this. Let me take a look.
Oh, yeah, you were asking before if Jitsi is open source. Yes, it is. That's why we're using it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because, all right, I saw there's live streamer. I cannot believe there is a live stream.
Yeah,
I started to joke about it.
So anyone listening to the audio version,
possible.
Just for anyone listening to the audio version right now, what I'm showing on the screen is Odysee posted a tweet saying live stream test is looking good, and you have a very angry looking picture of Tom as the picture they're using. But it seems like we're getting live streaming. There's a live chat that's there as well. I don't know when it's going public. They're looking for beta testers right now. I haven't put my hand up for it just because, I don't know, I haven't. I probably could do it if I wanted to. I'm very excited. Definitely very excited.
Yesterday, I think I saw a streaming. There was a guy streaming a game. Spanish-speaking guy.
Okay.
He was streaming. Yeah. And I joined the stream, but I don't have anything to talk about gaming, so I was lost there.
How would the stream work? How would the stream work? Because I know that's one of the issues we're going to have with, because we still don't have video transcoding, so whatever you like the quality you stream in is the quality you're going to get, and that's all. Which is going to be a problem for people with kind of like slower connections.
Okay.
But was it watchable for when you were trying to watch it?
It was. There was no real person on the screen. It was just the video game.
No, I mean, like, was the stream like laggy or anything?
No, I think it wasn't laggy. No. No. It seemed that was working good. Yeah. I think it. But I was really surprised. I never thought they would do live stream.
Yeah, it's been talked about not just since I've joined, like for years prior. They've been like, streaming will come eventually. I didn't think it was coming now. Like actually just working. Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna bring to the next level for sure because people are used now to streaming. And it's gonna make a difference, no? That people can do real-time things on the platform. And tipping the creators also live with the currency. It's crazy. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like imagine doing a stream and that people can tip you directly with a crypto. I don't know if that happens in some streams. People can tip. Yeah, there's add-ins for things like Cointree that can actually show notifications on screen when you get a tip. Obviously, there aren't any for LBC right now, but I can't see any reason why that couldn't also just be... someone could build like an extension for that, and then if someone, say, like, tips from LBC, I could have like a little pop-up on the screen saying, hey, so-and-so... Because we have sign tips as well. So so-and-so tipped whatever they wanted to tip. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm 100%. on it. And I think like talking about the tips, it comes also the fact that sooner or later we will need more exchanges to start exchanging LBC, the people on board, and that's also an important part of the evolution for the platform. But yeah, maybe like with live stream is going to create even more demand for it, that you want to buy LBC, so you want to be able to tip people with it.
Well, the thing is, when live stream goes more public, I'd be very happy to use it because I already stream on YouTube, Twitch, and DLive at the same time. So I'll just add an extra platform to go to, and I already have an established audience on LBRY anyway. So it would be no extra work for me. I need to get my my gaming channel on LBRY though. I haven't done that just yet. It wouldn't be difficult, obviously. Just go on Odysee and click sync, which is nice. I love it. It's so much easier to sync channels now. I remember when I first started, you would, like, if you've synced one, that's all you can sync, and if you want to have more synced, you would have to like contact the LBRY team and say, "Hey, I want to sync an extra channel."
Yeah, no, for sure. It's and I would like, it would be good if you do that soon, because what I think is that soon we are going to have like a mass migration of channels. And I think we had already one moment that I got 2 or 3 friends to migrate their channels to the platform. And they said, "Oh man, it's taking so long." And then I got in contact with the support team, and they told me, "Yeah, man, like this week we have like so many channels that are trying to sync all at the same time from YouTube." So I think like the sooner you sync your channel, the better, because we don't know how that's gonna be. It's like there might be a point where there will be, I don't know, thousands of channels every day trying to sync to Odysee, and that might take, I don't know, 2 months. I have no idea.
I can sort of like push myself ahead in the queue if I really wanted to. I do have that advantage, but it's going to get to that point very soon.
Yeah, that's a good thing about being an early adopter, no? That's
well, there are some people who could definitely push themselves ahead. Like, say if, I don't know, PewDiePie wanted to join, he wouldn't wait 2 months to join. They would put him at the front of the queue.
No, yeah. They have the priority by subscribers. Like, if you have more subscribers in your channel, it goes first in the queue, and so on. But that's what. And we don't know, maybe 10 channels with more than 1 million people want to start to sync soon, and I don't know. So yeah, I think like right now we have to enjoy this moment that we have, and for good and for bad, let's enjoy that we have just 500,000 on the platform, 500,000 people. That means a lot less toxic people. That means connect to people a lot more, and and so on. Like there are both sides on the equation, but whatever we need to do, we should do it right now. If we wait too much, it's no much point.
Yes, sorry.
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say, when I first joined the platform, it was rare. Like, not just there wasn't many comments. It was rare to see a video that had more than like 100 views with a viral video on Odysee at the time. Most of my videos now get, like, on my main channel at least, get like 500 or so views, which is basically half of what I get on YouTube a lot of the time, which is
cool.
Insane. And it's only going to grow from here.
Yeah. I start to pay attention more to views recently, and that's where I realized that the boosting the content really makes a difference. Actually, like not only on views but also on interactions. I don't know why, but I really believe that once your channel pick up a certain number of people, there's a lot of interaction, which is really nice. Which is the whole point of what we are doing, and I think like it's a basic human need is for interaction, and the more people you have that interact with you, the more you want to do your content. So yeah.
So besides the communication aspect, what do you think that LBRY sort of needs to work on? It could be functionality, it could be like community stuff, just anything. Like, what do you think right now is the most important thing for LBRY to work on?
Well, I think like the most important thing for LBRY to work right now, it depends on us. It depends on me, on you. on us doing it. What I would like to see is more people taking risks,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to do different things with this technology, that we have, Like I personally, I go chicken a lot on my projects, like I take a long time to do them, like, if you saw that I did the Eating Like a King with LBC for a week.
I did see that,
Where
yes.
Yeah, and that, it took me so long to actually, put myself to do that, I was like, why didn't I do early?
Mm-hmm.
Now this week, I did this idea that, you create a support channel where you have, I don't know what we are going to have, that's the biggest question, but where you have kind of a Patreon page for your own page, and that people can go there, and the people that really enjoy your content and they want to support you as a Patreon or something, they go there and they buy your content from there, which can be special exclusive content, or can be just a message of you saying, hey guy, thanks a lot for sending me 100 LBC from the, this idea is still in development. But I think that's the thing. I think LBRY and Odysee, they will grow a lot, not only when all the YouTubers join, but when we inside of the platform, we start to see all the possibilities that this platform offers us. Because I think there are very few content creators that are even thinking about that this platform has so many potential, so many things that in other places you cannot find, And even for jokes, like the potential of jokes that there is in LBRY and Odysee, it's amazing. Like this video I created, which I don't know how much it costs, but I think like 1 billion LBC to watch. That's also like, where other place can you do that? That you make a video and then you, I think Brandon here, he commented and he said like, I don't think there's enough LBC on the network to pay for this video. And like there's so much potential for everything. In my case, it's like no sense and comedy. In the case of people with technical channels, is to create interactions with the audience that you can do with technical stuff that I don't know what it is, But I see so much potential, that I think it, like the biggest change and the biggest growth that there will be coming is within the community. It is not something that LBRY Inc. can do. It's something that we have to do it as a community.
That's what you mentioned before about the Patreon sort of use case. I'd never even really thought of doing that, because I know some people have done some content where they like have a price on it. Like I know Lunduke has these comic strips that he charges for, and that's cool. But I actually think that would be a nice addition, mate. Like that is one of the things that what was I gonna say? You can definitely work out like interesting use cases for LBRY as a community, but when it comes to actually having those things just work more seamlessly in the platform, I think once they've been tested out by the community like that, what you've done there is a sort of hacky way to do a Patreon sort of thing. I think it would make more sense if you could have like a separate tab on your page that was, here's the paid extra content for the super fans, whatever they want to call it. I think that now that you've sort of explored that idea, that there's definitely something that could be added onto the platform to just make that actually work better, because I think with LBC, or with just channel creation in general, actually, I think it makes sense to be able to have people, I guess, what's the word? Fun, yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, fun to create it they're actually enjoying, and if that, like, one of those ways is, buying extra content they do, I think that can definitely be a interesting way to approach it for sure.
Yeah, what I mean, many people donate a lot to my channel. Like, I'm really surprised, I'm really happy for that. Like, there are some very generous people in LBRY and Odysee, and I'm really, really thankful for that. And what I feel that these people, they donate because it comes from their hearts. I work with donations most of my life. I used to be a street artist, so I'm there with a hat. And I know that the people that are donating with me, it's not only just because they thought I did something amazing, it's because they connected to me in a human level, So I'm 100% sure that, all these people donated from their hearts. because I didn't give anything extra to them. They just donate like everyone else, like they saw the same content as everyone else, and donate, support that content, and even with a donation or by boosting my video. And what I think that could be nice is for me as a content creator to be able to say thank you to that people, even if it's just a video of me saying thank you. That if somebody decides to donate me 10 LBC, that there's a video of me just for that person saying thank you, and that in my case, I can do a small circus trick or something like this, or blah blah blah. But yeah, what you say, it's true that there is a potential for LBRY to create a separate page, which is already the Patreon page. And maybe that's a good idea that we send them this feedback.
Because I don't think the roadmap for 2021 isn't out yet, is it?
The what? The roadmap? No, not that I've seen.
Okay. I've been interested in to see like what they want to do, but seeing that live streaming's already coming like now, I don't know what in the world the rest of the roadmap's supposed to look like.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, and that's what I'm saying. That and that's where we are going to decouple from all the other shit coins, because that's what we are doing now.
Well, yeah, LBC has a use case in this case.
A huge use case, a huge community behind, and I hardly see any kind of future where it's not gonna take off, And I personally haven't invested a lot of my money because I when I discovered this, it's when I also became jobless. So that's why I am able to do so much content as well on it, because right now, where the hell can you do a circus show? Where can you gather people? And doing online things, it's horrible for the heart to do online shows. But anyway, I really believe that LBRY and Odysee are with a huge potential, and like the roadmap. Yeah, maybe that's one thing to be added to the roadmap if they think it's a clever idea, to have like a small tab where you can click and you go to the Patreon page of the content creator. And yeah, that would be cool. I would be happy to see that.
Well, let's shift focus a little bit. So I've never been to a circus show myself, but I have been to a couple of comedy shows, and not being able to go see any comedy this year, or last year, I guess now. Like, there's like a couple of comedians who I really, really enjoy, and not being able to see them live, I don't know, it just makes the year feel like it hasn't ended properly. And yeah. I know there are some comedians who are doing like online shows, but there's definitely something different about actually being in the crowd of a show. And I can imagine being in a circus crowd is probably pretty much the same as being in a stand-up crowd. There's just a different sort of energy you just don't get if you're doing it online.
Yeah. No, for sure. It makes a huge difference, and it took me a long time to see my first live show when I was a child, and I really realized what was like. I saw a theater show, and nowadays, if I think about it, maybe it wasn't even that impressive, but just being able to see something live, because there is energy surrounding us, and when you're in a place with a lot of people, that's why also people go to see soccer on the stadiums and so on. Because that kind of energy, we can do whatever we want to do online, but that kind of energy, it's very hard to recreate. It's something really from human to human, and to be on that moment, and that is also something very special for people even watching live events. I remember in 2012 I went to Malaysia to do Circus show. And I was working a casino there. And back in Europe, people watch your show a lot, and they just watch. And when I arrived in Asia, they were all with the tablets. So you would look at the audience and you would see square faces, And then I made a point, like every beginning of a show, I would say, look, guys, there's a camera here filming the show, and you guys can get the footage later if you want, Right now, just drop your tablet, drop your phone, and be here and be present. And I think that's a very important fight not against technology, but with technology, that people learn how to enjoy themselves in the moment. Like there are so many pictures of people in the concerts, everybody with their phone.
Yeah.
You need to be there with your phone, recording something that's gonna be recorded anyway. You know, enjoy your moment, see the artist, see the band. You know, and I want to see what's gonna come up in the future. You know, because with this whole thing that is happening in the world right now, many of the children, they are losing this opportunity to see live things and to grow with this mindset, you know. And we will see. It's for sure a shifting time in our history for this kind of war against live content, and that people are afraid to be close to each other, which is something horrible. And I hope that people in LBRY and Odysee, we can do something about it, like that. Even if we create content, and that's why I also do a lot of my videos in the setting of nature, because it's also to say, guys, get out also of home, be out. There's a world outside, got lost a bit there.
One of the things I do like about stand-up comedy shows is most of them just ban recording, because with stand-up comedy, the entire thing is not understanding where the comedian's actually going to go with their bits. So if that was just released online, you'd sort of lose that entire energy. Whereas with a concert, you can't really you've heard this, like, by the time you go to a concert, you've heard the song already. So it's not like you're going there to hear the song for the first time. But I think that, stand-up comedy is one of those few places where you actually see people just sitting there, paying attention to what's actually happening. I would like to see... It's not going to happen. I would like to see more things actually like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's keeping the freshness. It's and I think that's the thing that we are missing a lot from this last year, is fresh things, things that could have happened wrong, without being big catastrophes. That's the thing. When you watch, and that is also like, if we go deep, it's also a cultural thing, television and internet and video, we see the content edited, cut it, the best part of it. When you're in live, you see everything. If the guy is speaking there and he spits and I don't know, something come out of his nose, it's there. There's no way for him to edit that out. And that is life. Life is about the things that go right and the things that go wrong. And with the amount of videos and technology, that's why so many people have a hard time starting a channel as well, because they're very afraid of being wrong, and we are raised in a culture where it's not okay to be wrong. And that is like just completely blowing away our creativity, because we have to be wrong. There's no other way to grow, but we are used to see only the end result. And when you go to a stand-up comedy, it can be the best stand-up comedy in the world. The guy's gonna do a mistake, If you do a circus show, you're gonna do a mistake. There's no way around it. No way around it. And that's why people watch it. Because they want to see that mistake, and they want to see how you do and what you do about it. And if there's no mistake, they say, wow, that's crazy, because there could have been a mistake. And in online content, it's really hard to make a mistake. And maybe live stream brought this next edge, that live stream is live, so people want to join because there might be a mistake. But it's I go out of the camera range and it's over. You don't see me anymore. As live, there's literally no place to hide.
Well, I don't really edit anything out in the podcast unless I show like my address or something. Everything just stays in, which is one of the nice things I actually like doing about these these long form videos. One, I'm too lazy to edit them, so I'm not going to edit them anyway. But you sort of get to just see a conversation between two people. There's going to be moments where I just have no idea what I want to say. It's going to stay in the podcast, and that just makes it feel, more real and makes it feel more, I guess, personable, and actually lets you see more of like how the person actually thinks through what they're trying to say. That was the most roundabout way I could ever say that. See, my point exactly. It makes it feel more real.
Yeah, and that's why people watch content mostly, to see real people doing real things,
Mm-hmm.
And I also realized that through my videos. At the beginning, I was trying to edit them because English is not my first language, so sometimes it takes a while for me to get the right word, and even then I don't get it. But then now I just leave everything through. I just cut the beginning, the end, because it's not so interesting and enough. But everything in between, unless I take a long time thinking about a word or I say something completely wrong, I just let it in, because that's what we are on to seeing it anyway, and that's how people will relate to you,
Yeah, I've definitely had the same sort of situation where a lot of my early content, I was cutting out like the slight pauses between words, and it was very, very jumpy. I've been sort of changing the way I've been doing that recently. Like in a recent video, I was showing off my new camera, and I was showing off this little HDMI capture stick thingy. It should focus in a second. There we go.
Nice.
And when I was doing that, after I like focused on it, I like dropped it. And I was like, oh, yes, that's just gonna stay in, and just went on with the rest of the video. But like my earlier stuff, I would have been like, okay, I have to completely redo that take. But I think that, yeah, you're definitely right. Leaving that stuff in definitely does. It obviously, if it's too much and it sort of gets in the way of watching the content, that's another thing. But if it's just little bits here and there, hey, maybe I make one mistake here, maybe I pronounce a word completely wrong, that stuff, it makes the content just seem more fun. For sure, definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. And and we need that as humans, like nobody wants to see a video from a machine, and there's
a lot of people who do make content like that, where it's like, hey guys, this is a video, we're going to talk about this thing and this thing and this thing. Like, what do you stop? I think the content like that really appeals to children because it's very, very jumpy. It's very, very much like watching a cartoon where it's always like there's always something happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know how those people don't go insane when they make videos like that, because you see some of these people, they make more videos than I do, and they are always at like 1,000% energy, and I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, no idea. But that's the thing, how much of them come out of this video? Are they like this in their whole life? They're like, hey, wife, I'm gonna go work down the road.
I really hope they're not. Imagine actually meeting someone who acted like that all the time. It's like, can you go away? I don't want to ever talk to you again.
Yeah, no, for sure. You cannot sustain 5 minutes of that. And yeah, it's important to have some kind of energy,
Yeah.
in your video, because, well, it depends on the idea of the video, but like for me, I love to lift up the energy right at the beginning, like calling everybody, and because it lifts me up as well. And but yeah, to keep on a pace because you think either you do that or people are never gonna watch, then you're making yourself a slave of your own content, and that's also maybe not the smartest way to see, because that's the thing, how long are they going to be doing this? And this is also something that I learned with Circus, there are many street artists even that are very focused on how much money they get at the end of every show, so they make their whole show around that hat line, which is like the moment where you say the line for your hat that you ask for donations. And they pretty much, they're like this version of person, but into a street show. They prepare everything that they say or they don't say, and even if they drop something, everything is done on purpose. At the same time that I appreciate the beauty of it, because it is very hard to do that 100 times, 300 times in a year, every day, I also feel like, my God, you just became a slave to your own show. Like, they cannot be themselves anymore on it, because if they are, they think they will get less money on their heads. And then how long are you gonna do that for? I had 2 very different shows. Like at the beginning when I started doing street shows, I was going more towards this because I really needed was like my main job when I was starting on it. And there was one point I was like, oh, you know what? I'm fed up with this. I want to do something that I feel that I can do, that I can do for a long time, because every time that I finish doing it, I can do it again. And the same thing is now with the videos in LBRY and Odysee. You know, there might be 100,000 mistakes that I do in my videos, but at least with those mistakes, I still feel like I want to do the next video, and that counts for me.
Yeah, making sure, like, okay, there's times where I definitely don't want to make the next video, where it's just like, because I've made 600 videos at this point, and there are times where I'm just like, I don't want to make another video, but you push yourself through it, you keep going, and you're like, okay, that was actually, like, I had to do that. And that's the only way you can actually, you know, you're not going to be, I'm sure you've had times like this where there's just times where you just don't want to do a show. And it's just like, no, this is what I do with my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it well. And after you're done with it, like, okay, that was a good idea. I needed to do that.
Yeah, but that's the funniest thing about Circus show, that you always ended up a show feeling better than when you started.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And that is the crazy thing about this job. And that's why I did it for so long. Because how much is worth it that? Mm-hmm. That every time you do your job, you feel better afterwards than before. You know, it's like free therapy or something. So, but yeah, of course, like many times I you know, it's like, poof. But as I think it's also very physical. Now you're moving around, you have to stay focused, you have to be in the moment. It's really a bit like meditation, you know, in a sense. And with videos, it's I feel also like that, you know, many times I don't feel like, and one guy that is helping me a lot with motivation in this sense is Zeth Coding. I don't know if you know him. He's a marketing guru, a bald guy.
Wait, okay. Did you hear a noise there, did you? No, I just heard like a real staticky noise. I don't know if that's picked up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just... Okay, I don't know. I'll deal with that afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I have the new microphone. If that was coming from my side. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off there, but yeah, go on.
It was coming from my side.
Oh, was it?
Man, what?
I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. You're saying something about Zeth someone?
Zeth Coding. Well, anyway, yeah, he's a marketing guy, and he says that, you know, he wrote a blog post every day of his life for the last 15, 20 years, you know. And he said, when I made the decision with myself that that's what I'm going to do, then things became easier, you know. So I believe that if we take these decisions, you know, if you're like a video creator, content creator, you're going to create content. There's no way around it. You like it or not, it's what you are, it's who you are, and you have to push it through. And the important thing, I think, it's like, especially with content creation, we are creating content, and we have to believe on what we are creating. So even when they're coming things that are like moments, I had like also a few months ago, moment in my life where but that actually pushed me through to do the Eating Like a King, thanks to LBC, you know, because I thought that it would not work. That's why I wasn't doing, because I was afraid it would not work. And when I was like completely fed up with it, that I was like, okay, I don't even know if I want to keep doing videos. I said, I'm going to just do the craziest idea now. So if it blows, I can blame the idea and I don't have to blame myself. And that sometimes for me works. I always have like the kamikaze kind of idea that whenever I feel like doing a video, I say, okay, so now it's the time to do the kamikaze idea, to do the idea that I'm sure it's not going to work, so I can feel even more miserable. And then usually what creates is the back effect, that usually what we are most afraid of doing is actually what we are supposed to do it.
Yep.
And yeah.
For me, one of the things that always helps with just giving myself more motivation to work on something, because there's days where I record videos and I'm like, that was the worst video I've ever made. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know, I'm just like, sometimes I'm just in a mindset where whatever I record, I think that's just a train wreck. But then when I get to the editing stage, a lot of the time those videos where I just hate everything I'm doing end up being the best videos I've done, and I've still, it still doesn't make any sense to me, but I sort of feel better about those days where I'm not really in the mindset to record, because maybe it's just that I'm putting more effort into it, maybe it's just that maybe I'm more relaxed about it or something, I don't really know what it is, but there's just something about those days where they always end up just being good days. And I think a lot of people also, one problem a lot of people seem to have is they don't really reflect on what they've done before. So they'll make something and they won't really improve from it because they don't really look at what they've done wrong with it and where they actually could go better. But I think that's also a big part that you really need to take into consideration, not just with making videos, but really with anything in life. Look back on what you did. See if there's a way to improve it, because no matter who you are, there will be a way to improve it. Like, even if you're the best in the world at something, there's always going to be something you could do better.
Yeah, especially if you're the best in the world at something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like also with Dev Coding, he said, most of the writers, they never know when it's going to be a bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they just write books. And sometimes it's a bestseller. And they put the same effort that they put in a book that sold really bad that they put in the bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
One became a bestseller, the other one, and that's the thing. Like, and that's why it's important to, like, that's what I'm getting to the mindset. Like, this last 2 weeks, I think I made a video almost every day, man, because I wanted to get a bit on this mood that I get things going. Now I just got a camera, so I'm learning how to use a camera, how to use lights.
Mm-hmm.
Soon I should get a microphone as well, And all of these things requires practice. And the only way to practice is by practicing. There will be no other way around. Like, I can see many tutorials, I can theorize, but all this theory, when it's not put in practice, is just driving me further away from my goal, that is to create good content. And maybe there will be a point where I will just do one video per month, but that video is going to be really good. But for that to happen, I have to now make as many videos as I can. And I have to enjoy the fact that I'm a small channel in a platform that there's only 500,000 people. And from this 500,000 people, I have many people behind my channel that really like what I do, and they are really supporting me. And that is something that is priceless. I wouldn't exchange those people for 100,000 more followers or something, because those people are the people that make me really, get up and do my content for them, because I really, I can feel from them that they really enjoy what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with like lighting and stuff, when I initially bought these lights, I had no idea what I was doing with them. Like, my early stuff when I bought them, it's not very good. It's taken me time to get to the point where I roughly know what I'm doing, and I still don't really know what I'm doing. This is me just sort of roughly guessing. I've got 3 lights right now. I've got one in front of me. You can probably see it like that. I've got one off to that side, that's like lighting the side of my face here. I've got one back here as well. And this seems to be like a reasonable setup. Plus I've got a light here and above me for colors. Most of this wasn't really that expensive either. And I think that's a problem a lot of people do make with their first gear they're buying. They buy the most expensive stuff. Like, this camera I bought, I have the money, I could have bought like a $2,000 or $3,000 camera. I didn't, because this, I think it was $800 at retail, but I got it on Black Friday for like $300 off. This camera I have is perfectly fine. It can do things like this. There we go. I can like zoom in on my face. But learning how to use the stuff you have it's something that practice is really the only way you're going to properly understand it. Because I could explain to someone how to perfectly light a setup, but do you actually know how to implement that? And even if you understand how to implement like a specific setup, do you understand how to then modify that to get, like, say, a different effect? Because I could say, if I move this light off to the side here, maybe a bit more in front of my face. You change the light from being this setup where I have this edge light to being more of a natural light, and playing around with stuff like that. And that's a good one. Playing around with the tools that you have is really the best way you're going to actually learn something. Not just, it's good to understand the fundamentals of how it works, but really just experimenting with what you have. And even if it's going to be like a terrible idea, like I could say, actually wait, well, I could do something like this. Here's a light. I could try like lighting under my face like this. This looks really dumb. I would never, actually wait, can we make this work? No, we can't. I don't think there's any way to make this look good, but oh god, experiment with what you got. Basically, that's my point. Try it out. Don't just be like, okay, well, this is how you do it. Look at, okay, that's how it's supposed to be done. How can I do it? And maybe it's better, because that's the only way you're gonna work out a better way to do it. Like, people didn't always know how to, I don't know, balance a ball on their head, and then someone tried it. And now we have you.
Yeah, definitely. And also the easiest, when you just have a cell phone, when I just had a cell phone, I just put it in a place and I record. And I don't have to worry about lights. I don't have to worry about mic. I don't have to worry about Zoom, because there's not even Zoom on the bloody thing, And now, of course, I got like since a week, a bit more improvements. So it's more things to worry about and more things to learn about it, But if I would have taken this moment, to learn all of this, starting my channel, maybe I wouldn't have even started, Because I think, I have to learn now how to do lighting. I learn how to work with the camera. I have to learn which mic I have to use. And then I'm like, okay, I'm overwhelmed without even starting.
Oh yeah,
no, but you're good, man. Just to give you a feedback, looks really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like that. My problem right now is I sort of just don't have room. I'm obviously recording this in my bedroom, so there's not really much else I can do. I would like to play around more, but there's just stuff in the way, and it makes it a bit harder than otherwise would be. One day I would like to have even just recording in like an empty bedroom. That would be nice. When I eventually get my own place, I want to have a dedicated space where I can just mess around even more. Maybe I'll come up with something that looks horrible, but I can still try it out and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Trying out is also very important, Otherwise, it just becomes standard, and there's nothing more boring than standard.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I've seen, like, you said you don't really watch much gaming stuff, but or you don't watch any gaming stuff, I guess. But if you watch any like game live streamer, they all have these exact same lights. I'll see if I can find them. I think they're called like leaf lights or something. Is this it? Nano leaf, that's what it is. Yeah, nano leaf. Every single streamer on the planet seems to have these things. Can I send you a link to it? Copy image address. Yes, there we go. They do look cool. But it's just like these. It seems like everyone just buys them because that's what the popular people have. They don't really like go on Wish or something. Just look up really dumb stuff on Wish if you want some cool lights, because I guarantee you'll find something there. You don't just have to do what everyone else is doing.
That happens in all the industries, no? Like
well, as you said, Cirque du Soleil is as you were saying, Cirque du Soleil is the McDonald's of Circus. That's. I can imagine there's a lot of shows that sort of copy them because they want to be the biggest show around.
But it's crazy. It's the same thing like now with Cirque du Soleil recently, but even like with juggling, a type of circus, In the 1930s, there was Enrico Rastelli, which was the most famous juggler in the world, which now it doesn't sound too much, but this guy, he was earning more than any politician.
Oh, wow.
Like back in the day, if you were a juggler, you would be earning the same thing as a soccer player right now. Something like this, And it's funny because like 100 years later, we don't even think. But back in the days, the jugglers, they used, like circus artists, they had castles built for them, and not really castles, but really they had so much money. And this guy, like on the 30s, he started to juggle with balls, with clubs, with rings. And before that, every juggler had a different set of equipment that they would juggle with. Some with glasses, some with plates, some with tables, whatever, And this guy, no, but seriously, because antipodis, when you juggle with the feet, you can put tables and stuff. But anyway, this guy became so famous that he became the standard. And there is the problem with the amount of technology that we have right now. That even right now, most of the jugglers are still juggling with the same equipment that they used to juggle in the 1930s because they are not able to see. They don't even know the history why they are doing that. The same thing as, I guess, with the gaming community and so on, that, some people become big and the other people, instead of they think, okay, if I want to become big, it's because I have to do something different. They just want a copy paste kind of solution for things.
It worked for that person, so it must work for me as well. But then they forget about why it worked for that person. It's because they were the first one doing it, or they were the first one doing it in a certain way. They just doing the exact same thing as someone else isn't going to get anyone paying attention to you.
Yeah. And at the same time, there are many ideas because nothing is extremely new. And there are some ideas that can be recycled in a good way. For example, when I was doing the LBC eating like a king for 1 week, somebody commented, oh yeah, I remember in the beginning of Bitcoin, people were trying to live off of Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, of course, because it's a logical idea. That's when there's Bitcoin, somebody will. And the same thing, we can recreate also the beginning of Bitcoin again in LBC, because that's the whole point of it, because it's going to have a very similar trajectory if it really follows Bitcoin path, but it can be better.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to see. Like, we don't have to try to do everything that happened with Bitcoin here, because here we have more options. And yeah, and the same thing like with content creation. Like if there is gaming, oh man, there are so many ideas that I don't know. As you said, I don't watch gaming channels, but I guess there must be, like, when you enter a place where everybody is doing the same and trying to copy for each other, that's just heaven. That's just heaven, because you can just start doing your own thing, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think the place where it's kind of the worst with copying people is with like Minecraft YouTubers, because there's a couple of really, really big, multiple million subscriber channels, and yeah, a lot of people are just sort of doing that. And I have noticed a couple of like newer channels that have been doing it for like 6 months that just shoot up. And that's because they actually try out, it's not, necessarily a completely new idea. It's, there's one channel I saw that was sort of doing like skit comedy, but doing it inside of Minecraft. And it's not it's not a completely new idea. It's just taking an existing idea and putting a new spin on it.
Yeah, for sure. It's all nothing is really newly created. It's ideas in developments, and then it's like cooking. You just take different ingredients.
Yeah.
And then you make the meal.
I'm not very good at cooking, but yes, I get your point. I can cook chicken, rice, and vegetables, and that's all I need. It keeps me alive. So with that ball trick, how long do you reckon it actually took you to actually get good at that?
That one I don't remember, because I was practicing.
Here's a better question, okay? What was the first circus trick that you tried to learn? Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think I had well, it's hard to know what circus trick, because anything you do, like everybody starts circus trick in their life because everybody's a clown. But I think juggling, for example, my first thing was the devil stick. This that is 2 and 1 in the middle, and I didn't even know the name of it. I call it pecky pecky because it makes the noise pecky pecky pecky. So with that thing, I started with that. Actually, I started working with it. It was really great because I started working directly in the first week or first 2 weeks that I had it. Because in Brazil, there's this popular thing that you go in front of the traffic lights and then you do juggling tricks, and then you
Okay.
can go with your head. And and that's what I did with my best friend, and it worked the day one, so why not? Like you're 14, 15, you're like, okay, I made $20, I can come tomorrow for sure.
That's definitely a lot as a 14, 15-year-old, that's for sure.
Man, I was so blown. That's why I never left this job, because I started so early and I was like so happy with it. I was like, I don't know anyone of my age that can, in 1 hour of work, make $20.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm going to do that.
So you started around 14, 15 then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been doing it now?
Now, 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
Well,
and it's nice because it's fun. It's like just the fun of creating content. You can always do things different. Of course, you can stick to something that works.
Yeah.
And die of boredom afterwards, or you can just learn new things, do shows with new people, tour to new countries. It's pretty much it's a whole world out there.
Well, it's not like you have to completely uproot everything that you've done. Like it's always good to have things that always work, but then also bring in experiment with new things. Like everyone cares about like juggling, for example, but then you can try some other things alongside of that maybe people haven't seen before that will catch their attention.
Yeah, for sure. Comedy is the base of it. You never go to a comedy club because you want to see the most amazing comedy person. You want to laugh, man. And the same thing for me, it's with Circus. Any trick that I will do, even if it's the most impressive trick in the world, people can say, oh yeah, I seen another guy doing another variation of that. But if you make them laugh, they don't care if it was the most impressive that they've seen in their life or not. How many people did you have in your podcast that needed to pee in between the podcast?
Wait, sorry, what was that?
I really need to pee, man.
Oh, you need to pee? Yeah, go ahead, man. I will just entertain people for like 2 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, I go run and I come back.
So good. I think it's been a really fun podcast so far. What do we at? Nearly 2 hours? Yeah. I think we've hit on most of the topics, actually. I wasn't really sure where we were going to go with this, because I knew we were going to talk about LBRY and Odysee and stuff like that, but I didn't actually... I could guess that he had some experience entertaining previously. I didn't actually realize he did circus stuff, so that's kind of new to me. But hey, it makes for a fun show at least. Let's see. Also, I did have some other stuff on here, but I don't think a lot of it I had was a bit more technical, and I don't think that would be the best way to take it. But let's see. Is there anything on here I haven't talked about yet? What do we have? How'd you get in crypto? What got you into crypto? Oh, that's one thing. I haven't actually asked him where the name for his channel came from. How's it going?
A lot better now. I'm not used to interviews, but never drink mate when you're doing an interview. That's a golden rule from now on.
I'm very used to being on streams at this point, so I've got like 3 water bottles here because it's the middle of summer here as well, so it kind of gets a bit warm. But what I was going to say was I was going through my topic list to see what we have left. Where did the name for your channel come from?
LBRY Rats United.
Just no, Mantega.
Mantega. That means butter in Portuguese.
What? Okay, no, step back. Why?
No, well, that's my nickname since I'm 6 years old.
Right. Okay.
Because I have a butter hair. Like in Brazil, where I was growing up, it's not so common to have like so many blonde people.
Right. Okay.
So they shoot and they were like, "Oh my god, he has butter hair," and I found that so cool that they started to call me Butter. That I decided, yeah, it's gonna be called Butter. Why not?
Okay, that was not what I was expecting from that answer, but
Well, I can we can edit and I can make something more interesting out of it. Okay, now I'm starting again.
But yeah, I sort of understand like the library rats thing, but why don't you explain, why you went with that?
I knew that I wanted to do something comedy related,
Mm-hmm.
and there is this expression also in Portuguese, but I think it's also in English. I think I researched that when you read a lot, you become a library rat.
Right. Yeah.
Because you go a lot to the library. It's like in Portuguese, it's also like that. And then it was funny that the platform is called LBRY, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, okay, well, what would be the funniest thing to call people that are in this platform? And because I wanted to relate to people as well, because I could see that there was not a lot of identity in the platform, because I could see that there were not many people, and I was like, okay, we need an identity. We are building up this place. So that's where I came up with Library Rat, because it's people that like to read a lot. They, at least in Brazil, they are called library rats. But I think in English as well.
No, I've heard that before. Yep.
Yeah. So it was like an easy choice to go, and also calling everybody rat is already comical from second one. So.
What are we at? We're at 2 hours now. I think that's probably a good place. Oh, don't play the next video. I think that's probably a good place to actually, end off the episode. One thing I usually do towards the end is give a shout out to someone that you're, watching on LBRY, someone you think deserves a bit more attention.
Yeah. Well, I really like the content of Mediocre and Vlad. Mediocre.
I've heard of Mediocre. Vlad. Oh no, yeah, I know who Vlad is. Yep, okay.
Vlad is the skateboard guy.
Yep.
Mediocre music, and Vlad is the skateboard. Well, there are many content creators, but with them I'm a lot in touch. And now Mediocre just did, I think today, the song of we are building together the LBC, please go to moon, blah 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 blah. So
how do you spell his channel name?
It's like MEA TT U.
Oh, you?
Me. You? No, sorry. Yeah, you. Yeah. You. You? Yeah.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I found it. Okay.
Sorry, it's not you. It's what's the name? Y. But I forgot how it's called in English. That one.
I found the channel. Mediocre Music. It was MEATTYOKR and then music.
Yeah, exactly. It's Y, not you.
Ah, that's what you meant. Y. Okay. Okay. Yeah. People check those channels out. Cool. I'm pretty sure I've spoken to both of them before. Yeah, they both hang out in the LBRYnomics Discord, don't they?
Yeah. They are very often there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Vlad, I think it's also in LBRY. He has some kind of what's the name, position in LBRY. Now he's coordinating as well.
Yep. Okay. As for me, I'm going to say, because he's finally on the platform, go check out Electro Boom's channel. Because getting big creators onto the platform is gonna convince more people to come over, and it's just awesome to see people like this on the platform. So I think encourage people like this to join, and that's cool. Yeah. So where can people find you?
I'm just there. I'm just in LBRY and Odysee.
Just on LBRY and Odysee.
Yeah.
So your channel is just Mantega?
Yeah, at Mantega. And right now I'm putting a lot of energy on that one. I might do one in Portuguese as well, maybe one in Spanish. I'm thinking about what's the answer there, but far. I'm at Mantega, and that's the best place where people can find me.
And you also hang out a lot in the Librarynomics Discord as well.
Yeah. Meaty actually, or Greg is his name. He's the one that invite me there, and it was good because it was right at the beginning when I joined library. I was really lost. I was like, where the hell is everybody? Because like I was looking through search and I couldn't find anyone that was doing things for the library. It was really hard. So he put a comment on my video and invite me to that Discord, and that was really a good changing in my perspective from the whole atmosphere there.
Cool. Okay. So I think before we go, I lost the page. Where'd it go? Come over here. Before we go, I'd like to thank my supporters. So a special thank you to Chris, Joachim, Donald, Michael, Andrew, Nathan, David, Monza, Will, Brennan, Chico, Bento, Jamie, Joseph, Mitchell, Peter D, Tony Tushar, and all of the $2 supporters. If you would like to support my work, there are links down below to all of the things where you can do that. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, the video version is always out on YouTube and LBRY. It's always out first on LBRY on Tuesday, so check it out there if you want to see it slightly before everyone else. And if you're watching the video version, the audio version, you can find anywhere that has podcasts, you'll find it. Just look up Tech Over Tea, it'll be there. If it's not there, just send me like an email, I'll probably get it on the platform. Or I'll forget. But I'll probably do it. My main channel, Brody Robertson, do Linux stuff there. Much more planned than this, but I like the fun, haphazard, it just, whatever happens sort of thing. I guess to sign off the podcast, how about you give your intro, just in case people haven't heard it before.
I can say the goodbye then, instead of my intro.
Oh, go ahead, do that.
My library rats and my Odyssey ratonauts. And thank you very much for inviting me to the podcast. It was really a lot of fun to do my first interview, I think.
No worries. I think it was a lot of fun to have you on the show. I'd be more than happy to have you back at some point.
Yeah, I'm coming back for sure, man. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you for being on. Thank you guys for watching as well.